this is what happens when you start my stream with a deep question. In terms of the continuous controversies and stuff, so we're going to continue to see a lot of people moving over to YouTube for streaming as they continue to implement features. We've seen a big shift in general. YouTube signed a bunch of big streamers a couple years ago, and as that has happened, we've seen a trickling of creators move over, and then as YouTube continues to implement new features and new creator-focused things, like super thanks for videos, awesome. I'm so grateful for that. It's about time. I am so sick of the culture of throwing money at people sitting in their basements playing video games all day, but the second you make like valuable, I spent weeks on this content and you ask for money for it, suddenly you're the worst person ever and you should do it all for free. Doesn't make sense. So I'm glad they're finally catching up with a lot of platforms in that regard. Because effectively, for some people, I still recommend not putting all of your eggs in one basket. For a lot of people, though, it kind of replaces the need to use things like OnlyFans or Patreon or the Twitter super subs, you know, those fan funding models. If you can get all of this on YouTube, that removes the roadblocks to getting support that you need. So even if you have those other profiles set up, so you have other ways to access your audience and monetize them, having less roadblocks and being able to do it on platform is still a huge W. In terms of like Twitch versus YouTube, like we're going to continue to see more people moving over, especially as they implement all these features, as I was saying, but Twitch is still a thing. Like, I want to make a video soon talking about the culture of Twitch, because that's the one thing I think keeping Twitch afloat right now is the culture. We have, like, in so many people's heads, when you think about streaming, and specifically game streaming, people think about Twitch. And when you think about the overall creator experience, when you go to stream, you log into Twitch's dashboard, you've got the stream dashboard. Like, I haven't looked at this in a while because I don't stream a ton, and it's just like, it's like home. It's comforting. Even though this thing is like less than 2 years old, but you get all these things. You get all the buttons to control your stream. You get the preview. You get the chat. You get the activity feed. Things that sort of exist on YouTube, but aren't as good on YouTube. And especially knowing that you're missing a lot of the features. And then you have the entire monetization culture, which effectively doesn't exist on YouTube. Like, it sort of does. And they're improving it for sure, but you still have things like bits and gifted subs. Gifted subs are huge. Subs and hype trains in general are huge. We have a hype train right now. Yeah. So, you know, there's that. Let's get that going. Like, this is a part of Twitch culture, and this is what keeps Twitch afloat for this kind of thing. This is the culture people want from streams. The emotes that you can use on other channels. YouTube doesn't let you do that at the moment. That's weird. Lots of little things like that all build this vague, abstract, completely intangible idea of streamer culture that no one cannot really identify, but is incredibly important to people's loyalty and involvement in the platform. And I don't think, like, YouTube is going to take a very long time and have to really fight to get that. And frankly, they have roadblocks towards getting there, simply in the face of the fact that, like, as people are pointing out in chat right now, it's very difficult to just run into streams when you're not looking for them. Like, there's always waves of, if you watch the 24/7 music streams, it's going to recommend those to you for like weeks on end until you stop clicking on them. But in general, there's no stream discovery on YouTube. So you have this weird back and forth where I really don't think, and I know people get so mad, especially on TikTok. I've been doing a lot of TikTok stuff again, and people just get so stupidly mad at when I tell them they're wrong about this. But I truly don't think, as a content creator, well, first and foremost, I don't think there's a difference between streamer and YouTuber and all. Like, content creator is the encompassing umbrella here. And I don't think it's impossible, or I don't think it's possible to survive as one without having both Twitch and YouTube. And theoretically, you could substitute YouTube for TikTok and Instagram, some other secondary platform. But I don't think you can just have Twitch and really make it as a new creator. There are still going to be channels that are big and have been around for a while and are partnered and been established for years and years that can survive on just being Twitch, although it's unlikely that they do. They probably still have an active Twitter presence. They probably have a Discord. They probably have other platforms. Like, there's probably not a single successful channel that has like a business built off of it, or a, sustainable following that is purely, they log into Twitch, they stream for a few hours every few days, and then they literally interact with people nowhere else except for real life. That doesn't exist. You need other platforms. And you have this weird dichotomy with YouTube and Twitch where getting your streams discovered on YouTube is nigh impossible. If you don't have existing subscribers, finding an audience on YouTube for just live streams, especially after they got rid of the YouTube gaming homepage, which was freaking awesome. I missed that. It just needed adapted better. It's basically impossible. So if you're wanting to be a streamer, I don't know that I could ever recommend you just start on YouTube because you may never find viewers. But on Twitch, it's also incredibly difficult to get discovered because there's so many people streaming on Twitch, and I don't believe that saturation ruins anything for anyone, but it is incredibly difficult to climb that ladder on your own to the extent that you then need to then make content for YouTube to point people back to Twitch. Harris preaches this all the time. I've been preaching it for the past year or two, and it's the same strategy that I have used and that many of us have used, in that unless you happen to be on the right upward slope of a trend, playing a trendy game before anyone else, or you happen to collab with the right person, or you happen to get rated, all these random RNG things you cannot rely your career or your dreams on. You need to work for them instead. You need to be building that content somewhere else to then point people back there. So you can't just have one or the other. There's always going to be this back and forth until Twitch either completely overhauls their VOD service and makes it more like YouTube and discoverable and all of that, which isn't going to happen, or YouTube improves their stream service to the extent that people just log into YouTube, gaming.youtube.com or whatever, and just browse streams regularly, which, given the length that Twitch has been around and the culture they have developed, also is unlikely to happen because they don't have streamer culture. And I hate that streamer culture is this vague, unidentifiable thing that we can't really point to because it ends up really weird in certain situations, if I can speak. Like, I remember when Shroud went to Mixer, I found it really weird because to me, he embodied everything that was like on the good side of Twitch culture. The memes, the emotes. I have friends in real life who say random phrases that were emotes or moments from Shroud's chat that turned into site-wide phenomena that just doesn't happen on YouTube as much. It happens, like that's how the original, video-based memes went, like from Friday and Charlie Bit My Finger and all of these things, and there's newer examples, but like all of those were YouTube cultural icons, but rarely do those things happen when it's live. And so I don't think that Twitch is going anywhere, but I also don't think that YouTube is necessarily going to dominate them anywhere. And just anecdotally, it's really awkward as a content creator who has done both for so long. I have been on Twitch since 2010 on my secondary account, since like 2012 on this one, and I was in the Justin.tv days on one of my earlier accounts. It's really hard to feel motivated to stream on one platform over another, which is why I push multi-streaming so much, because as anecdotal evidence, if I stream on Twitch, like right now, we just hit 53 concurrent viewers according to my stats panel, which may be a little bit behind. I don't look at those numbers too much. Let me refresh, see if it's the same. Looks like we're hitting 53 concurrent viewers right now, which is considered a high for my stream. Thank you guys. Awesome. Hi. We will chat more interactively in just a second. This is what happens when you start my stream with a deep question. Let's say I average 30 viewers on my streams when I stream completely randomly like this late at night when no one's expecting it with no point or, consistency. I average 30 viewers. A normal stream on YouTube, I can average anywhere from 200 to 300 viewers. 10 times the concurrent viewership, plus all the VOD views, which don't exist on Twitch, effectively. 10 times the number of concurrent viewers over on YouTube. And yet, I will very rarely make $1 on YouTube. Now, in recent episodes of AFK Chat and Streamer News, you guys have been changing that up, and I've gotten some super chats and the like, and I'm immensely appreciative of that. Not gonna pretend you guys don't exist, and sometimes I forget to call them out in Streamer News, and I feel super guilty for that. But, generally speaking, I make basically no money when I stream on YouTube. Now, it's a video. I treat it all like a video, so I get ad revenue, I run sponsors and the like. But over here on Twitch, for what is on average 1/10 of the viewer, usually there's tips, usually there's subs, there's bits, there's pretty much always a way that I end up earning money on Twitch. And that is how the cultures differ for the most part. Now, we are seeing a big shift for that for some of the big Twitch streamers that do move over to YouTube, like Doc. He made like $7,000 with his 24-hour I'm coming back stream last year, just by not even streaming and streaming an animated GIF. And so those streamers who already had that culture over on Twitch and are bringing it over, they're nailing it. But for everyone else, like even the big tech YouTubers and stuff I see streaming, there will be the consistent super chatters, but it's not the same thing because you don't get the same kind of interactivity. If you drop a huge dono on somebody on YouTube, you may not know that they're going to respond. Whereas that is the expectation. That is the level of operation on Twitch. And the same thing with like bits and things like that. And so it is really hard to pick one over the other. And frankly, I don't think you should have to. Like if it wasn't for Twitch's affiliate agreement, I would be able to stream streamer news on Twitch and YouTube. Get the people who prefer to watch Twitch able to watch Twitch, people who prefer to watch YouTube on YouTube, access both audiences, and people can, tip or interact on Twitch or on YouTube, and I can just kind of filter that in between talks, and that'd be fine. But yeah, it's really tough. Living Hero says, I canceled my affiliate contract. I don't want them to use my image without my permission. Yeah, unfortunately, that's something that you agree to with just about any money-making contract, so it's frustrating. Admittedly, though, like, they reserve the option, but if we're being real, Twitch never promotes their affiliates. Like, in all honesty, when have you seen Twitch promote an affiliate? An affiliate. Not a partner. An affiliate. Pretty much never. But they reserve that option in case you're really kicking butt there. I have made some claims that I was debating multiple times. Debating going back and forth between canceling my affiliate contract and not. Because I want to be able to do multi-stream. And so I considered it greatly. I have given myself till the end of given myself until the end of the summer to really kind of finalize that decision. At one point I was all gung-ho. I was like, yep, I'm going to cancel that affiliate contract and I'm going to multi-stream my butt off. And ultimately, in my head, that's still what I want to do. But I kind of like having the separation. And I actually emailed Twitch. I emailed Twitch back in April, I want to say, specifically trying to negotiate. I was like, I want to do a specific show that is multi-streamed. I know people negotiate exclusions to their contracts, even though you're going to tell me they don't. I know that they do. I had literal tweet-based evidence of people being able to negotiate that before. And I was like, I just want to do this one show that's multi-streamed. And then all the rest of my Twitch streams will be Twitch exclusive. It seems like a win-win because it will bring viewers over to Twitch and it will bring quality content to Twitch. And of course, I got the immediate shutdown level 1 support response of, sorry, we don't actually do that, so no, of course you can't do that. Just the big middle finger. And of course, I got nowhere because I have no pull with Twitch and they're not gonna listen to me unless it's about like video encoding or something, and that went nowhere. So it's really tough. I don't know how much of it is a financial incentive, because as much as I was talking about, I make money on Twitch streams where I don't on YouTube streams. It's not like it's a lot. I appreciate everything you all throw at me, but like a single sponsor spot makes it more worth it. But I want that interaction with you guys. Like right now, this chat is more kind of involved than the big view number YouTube chat where I have people who show up out of nowhere and it's like, oh, I just scheduled this stream. I hate Premiere. So, blah, blah, blah. Did you talk about this subject yet? Because those are the people who show up who just found the title of the stream out of nowhere, who usually when I check aren't subscribed. Whereas you all have actual questions. Twitch chat is almost always better unless you're watching an event, at which point turn the chat off quickly. Run away. So Linus is different. Linus has actually checked his contract, and he has a super old school Twitch contract, which technically says he cannot game stream anywhere else. Even though he has broken that, of course, but has nothing about multi-streaming or exclusivity. That being said, he's Linus. He's freaking Linus of Linus Tech Tips, and they're not going to do anything to him. And frankly, I think he said multiple times, if they do take away his partnership, he doesn't care. He doesn't have alerts or anything like that. Like, he doesn't need Twitch monetization. And I am mostly there. But I do want to, like, I think I have this in the back of my head that at some point, even though it's not feasible, especially with my kid, having a kid now, I think I have it in the back of my head that at some point I will be able to spin Twitch to be its own content pillar that I focus on for X part of, portion of my time. And that will be better than just cutting it off. But like I said, I'm giving myself to the end of the summer, so I have like a month left to finalize and decide. And frankly, that's also been a part of not finishing what I called season 3 of Streamer News to start that up. You may see that season 3 starts out with me multi-streaming and me just canceling affiliates. So we'll see. What do you feel is the actual reason for Twitch not allowing to multi-stream? So this is, I mean, effectively because they don't have to. They're Twitch. They're the main streaming site. They're what you're dependent on or what you're going to chase for your viewership. And it allows them to lock down new streamers and streamers of any kind to specifically be on their platform. Because realistically, my recommendation, and has been my recommendation for years now, is if you're going to start streaming, you should be multi-streaming from the get-go, because you're not going to start out as a YouTube partner, Facebook partner, or Twitch affiliate. You should just multi-stream to everything and build your audiences on as many platforms as possible within the feasibility of what you can juggle. So usually 2 or 3, because you could live stream on Twitter too, theoretically. And then spread your content from there and then translate that to YouTube videos as well and just build your audience as wide as possible. That is the fastest way to grow and the best option that you should take, not locking yourself down to one platform. But by creating this, affiliate is basically a bot filter. By creating this like carrot on a stick to give you a couple of the partner features and to give you monetization, they lock you down so that then when you do become successful, all your audience is already on Twitch. You're not gonna want to multi-stream. You're not gonna want to leave because it's really scary as a creator to try to switch platforms or to move your audiences because they're not gonna come, or at least not a huge chunk of them, as anyone who got Mixer contracts or Facebook contracts saw. ESL on Facebook. Oh boy, yeah, that one did not go well. So yeah, that's why. Why do you want to be affiliate? Are multi-streams more worth than being affiliate? Generally speaking, yes. I continue to stand behind my stance that multi-streaming and getting your content in both places is a much better advantage than making a little bit of money. But there are affiliates out there, even ones with similar view counts and follower counts as myself, that make a lot of money, that it makes a significant impact to them. As much as I appreciate your all's contributions and you pay for a couple bills on your own, as a business, I could theoretically live without it and possibly benefit from having the viewers in both places and those extra numbers to pad sponsors a little bit better. But I also, and this, you guys can give feedback on this as well as I scroll down to catch up with chat here. Apologies if I miss a message. I feel like once you set up a like community building aspect of this, kind of like when you have a Patreon, for example. When you create this kind of community expectation, I'm going to take my hat off because it's getting pretty toasty here, as it usually does. My hair is a mess, though. When you create this kind of community building aspect, where you have people who have invested in you and they expect something out of it, even if it's minimal, it gets a little awkward to then turn around and disable that, because it feels like you're cutting them off and saying that, you know, what they wanted to invest in you isn't valuable enough to you. Like those of you who invest in the sub squad, by the way, those of you who subscribe on Twitch get access to a secret chat in my Discord. You get early access to videos, behind the scenes content, and, you know, the ability to ask me more direct questions in a way that I can guarantee that I can answer. If I cut off Twitch subscriptions, if I cancel my affiliate and that's your main way of wanting to support someone and being a part of that, I effectively removed your ability to access that kind of inner circle, that inner community that you wanted to be a part of. I just cut that off and said, oh, you don't get to do that anymore. And that doesn't work in my brain. And I spend way too much time as a creator in general focusing more on the like sentiment and the emotions of those kinds of things rather than the numbers behind it. But those are the kind of things where I would think, you know, if I'm pledged to whatever creator and they did this, how would I feel? Because that's kind of motivated a lot of my decisions as a creator in general. And I don't want to get too far detached from it, even if I can't worry about what every little commenter would say or, you know, what have you. I've actually made a dozen TikToks on this already. Go follow me, TikTok.com/@EposVox, I think. Whatever. You know where to find me. I'm the same name on every platform under the sun, especially in terms of revenue splits and things like that. Activating, you have to unlock these things on certain platforms. So that's a difficult point. But if you have access to YouTube's partner program with these channel memberships and the super chats, those are a higher revenue split than you can get with Twitch. I don't know why I said split instead of split. Although Harris just released a video breaking down Twitch's secret 70-30 split that I had no idea existed because Twitch keeps all of their partnership stuff secret. So there's that. But if you're already at that tier, you probably aren't listening to me for this. YouTube gives a better revenue split in general, as does Patreon or Ko-fi, Coffee, or, there's a bunch of supporting tools you can use. OnlyFans, they're trying to be less about porn these days. There's Fan House, I think, is the competitor that people are using now. Twitter's introducing super subs, which are paid subscriptions. There's a lot of these other things which will get you a higher revenue split that if you can push people to, are a better split. And I get people all the time, and these are the best people. Not that any of you are worse, but in terms of they will show up and they will ask, what is the best platform to support you on in terms of splits? And frankly, sometimes I don't have an answer for them because they're asking between two that are very awkward in terms of I don't know the exact details. It's negligible. There is a better result you can get from some of those side platforms, but you have to be able to get the viewers there. If you have people who only want to support you on Twitch, if you go try to push them to Patreon, they may just be well, I'm going to, especially, and this is one of the key things that Twitch holds over pretty much every platform, is that Prime sub. We get paid for your Prime subs. You pay for that through your Amazon Prime subscription. You effectively don't pay for it it's not a conscious, I'm going to spend money on this now. It's just an extra bonus of some money you're already spending every year. And no other platform has that. And so that can be a significant amount of people's subs. In fact, that's probably at least half of my 11 subs I have right now, because they were all disabled before I streamed today, since I haven't streamed in months. So for some creators, you could lose literally all of your subscriptions by trying to push people to another site where they don't get a free subscription. It's a really tough call that you don't necessarily have a blanket universal answer for, which is why I try to be more mindful of that in my content about it. But at the same time, you got to make some generalizations. And especially when the content that I'm putting out there about what you should go with is geared towards people who are just starting out, that kind of affects it a little bit more too. Because if you don't start out with those Twitch Prime subs, then you're not dependent on them in the first place. But people have this weird, every couple dollars they have to feel like they're missing out on, which is the same thing. Just as a final tangent here, a lot of people will not repost their videos to other sites because they can't run ads on those videos. Even though you could reach more people on those sites who will probably just go find you on your main site anyway. People won't post their videos there because they're worried about not making ad revenue there, even though realistically they will never get enough ad revenue on those sites for it to make a difference. Missing out on $5 versus the awareness of 50 more people is a fairly solid trade-off on a smaller scale when you're just starting out. Obviously, if you scale it up a ton, not so much, but what I'm getting at. All right, so that was the answer to the question that started this stream. Like I said, you all started me with the tough one here, but yeah. How are you all doing?